guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Y'all, let's use some more of that wrapping paper to create an awesome paper craft. Stay tuned. So welcome everyone to my channel. Thank you so much for spending a portion of your day with me. I really do appreciate it. And I really want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to everyone who has bought me a coffee lately. I really do appreciate that, as well as everyone who supports my monthly members group. And it's because of the awesome above and beyond support that I receive from you guys that I am able to keep this channel running. And I really do appreciate that support. So today we're going to combine our awesome wrapping paper that we've been using on the channel lately, and we're going to combine that with some chipboard to create this awesome refillable notebook. And I'll show you the trick that I use to make this refillable once we get ready to go over what's needed to make it. So I'll give you a closer look in just a minute, but y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, guys, so here is a closer look at the awesome project that we are going to be making today. Y'all know that I am in love with this wrapping paper because I just love how cheery it is. But I thought this wrapping paper would also make a very happy notebook. So here's what I have on the front. I have a little sticker that says, "I was made for sunny days." This notebook, when finished, measures 8 3/4 tall, 6 inches wide, and it is 1/2 inch deep. So I'm going to open it so that you can see the inside of this. I've kept it pretty bare, but I did add just a pop of color because I wanted a little bit of contrast when it was open. But here's the trick to how I'm going to make this refillable. You guys know that I love to use my metal snaps. And these snaps, if you don't pound them together with a hammer or a mallet or whatever it is you use, these snaps can be pulled apart. You can then take some more paper, punch holes in it to match the hole positioning here, and that is how quick and easy it is to make this refillable. But I think you're also going to be amazed at how quick and easy it is to make this in general. All right, so to make our project, we're going to need some wrapping paper. And can you guys believe that I am still working from that same roll of wrapping paper that I originally started with? We are able to get so many projects from one $1 roll of wrapping paper. Economical crafting at its best. So I have my wrapping paper, and I have 40 sheets of 8.5 by 5.5 inch decorative printer paper. And so to get this size, I took the 8.5 by 11 inch piece, and on the 11 inch side, I cut it in half at 5.5. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you probably made an investment in some of that decorative printer paper. Well, this is another awesome project that you'll be able to use it on. And then I have a scrap piece of 5.5 by 5.5 inch medium weight cardstock. And then I have 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 6 by 8 3/4. And I have my spine piece of chipboard that measures 8 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And so the wrapping paper size that I'm starting with is 18 by 12. I don't need all of this, but it just happens to be a piece that was already torn. So that is the piece that I'm going to go with. But you just need to make sure you have enough wrapping paper to be able to lay these out and cover them. So if you start with a piece of wrapping paper that is about 15 by 10, that should be sufficient for being able to do your wraparound. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel away my double stick tape, peeling away those backer sheets. And again, I would not use glue on this large chipboard piece because you might experience some warping. So I'm just going to take this, place it down just like that, and then I'll take the spine piece and I'm going to put it down, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I'll remove the backer sheet from the rest of my chipboard. And for the 1 inch tape that I've been using on this project and a lot of the projects that you have seen using this wrapping paper. I'm actually using tape that I got from the Dollar Tree. I had never tried their double stick tape before, so I decided to give it a try. I feel very comfortable using that tape on a project like this, but I haven't tried it on one of my weight-bearing projects. I will, but for right now, I'm only going to use it on projects like this. So I am going to remove some of that excess. And now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to make sure that I have everything nice and stuck. Then I'm going to stand this up and just get my edges ready to be folded over. And I'm going to trim away on the ends to do my miter. And basically all I'm doing when I miter is I am coming in and trimming so that I can fold over and have a professional finish. And if you're new to paper crafting and this happens to be the first video of mine that you're watching, I have a playlist that is frequently asked questions and helpful hints. You might find that a little bit helpful to help you get to know my channel and my techniques a little more. I'll have that playlist linked in the description box because it will definitely help you. So now I'm just going to peel away that tape backer. And we're going to wrap this over. And then I'll take my tape runner and I'm just going to add some tape to those edges just to make sure I have everything nice and stuck. And we'll do the same thing here. And I'll use my big old spatula just to go around and get everything nice and stuck. And I forgot to mention during the supply list that you are going to need an 8 3/8 by 12-inch piece to line the inside. So I am going to take some more of my awesome Dollar Tree tape and I'm going to place it down so that I'm covering the chipboard. And you guys are able to see that by using this Dollar Tree tape, I really am keeping my adhesive cost very low. Because I've used the same roll of tape on all of my wrapping paper projects that called for tape. And so because I used a roll that cost $1, it is not costing me hardly anything per project to be able to use the tape on this. So I am peeling away my backer sheets. I am going to go ahead and take my tape and I'm going to place tape along these edges. You can also use glue. I'm placing tape because I happen to have the tape out. All right, so once we have our tape down, I'm going to go ahead and peel away my backer sheet from all 4 sides, and then we'll get this liner piece attached to the inside of our jacket. And so I'm going to take my liner, and I'm actually standing for this part because I've found that if I stand, I can be a little bit more precise when I place it down. Now I'm just going to take that big old spatula and just really get everything nice and stuck. And then I'll go in and make sure my spine is nicely defined. And I'll do the same thing here. So I'm just going into the groove with my big old spatula to make sure I have that spine defined. And then I'll go over the spine several times to make sure that I have a nice stick. And there we have a most beautiful, beautiful jacket for our project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my papers and place them in and decide where is it that I want to punch my holes. And so I think I want to punch my holes fairly close to the top. So I'm just bringing in the scrap piece, and it'll just serve as a template guide for where I want those holes to be. So I've marked it. Now I'm just going to punch it with my paper piercer. And that's just a hole guide. And then I'm going to use my Crocodile Big Bite, and I have it set on the 1/8 of an inch setting. And I'm just going to go back over that hole and get it nice and clean. And so now that I have the holes, I can take one of my papers to use as a guide for where I need to punch. So I have my paper in, and I'll go over to the back side and just take my hole punch and go back through that original hole, and I'll do the same thing on this side. And so now I'll use this as my guide. So I'll bring in pieces of my paper, and I'm going to use those holes as my guide. And I'll just keep doing this until I have holes punched in all 40 sheets of my 8.5 by 5.5 inch paper. All right, so now that I have holes in all 40 of my sheets, to make this refillable, I am going to be using some of the snaps, the metal snaps that I've shared with you guys over the past few weeks. So I am going in, and what I'm getting, I'll show you in just a second. So what I have here are 2 of the longer prongs and 2 snap heads. They actually snap, and you have what looks like a little barbell. Then when you're ready to replace your papers, you can unsnap it, punch holes in some new paper, and replace it. So this is going to be very easy, because what I'm doing now is I'm just attaching the papers to the prong. So I'll go ahead and put my last few sheets on, and now you can see that I have this beautiful little metal snap embellishment on the front, and then we have our snap pieces on the back, and hopefully you can see the prongs sticking through. So now all I need to do is take these prongs and feed them through the holes that I punched in the chipboard. Now I can take my snaps, put those on, and there we have our sweet little pad. You can see how when closed, everything is inside, nothing is hanging out. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a very quick pocket. So to make my pocket, I have my 5.5 by 5.5 inch piece of medium weight cardstock, and I have some scrap paper. So all I'm going to do is take this and attach it to the scrap paper. So I am going to use some of my tape. Good Lord. And I'm peeling away my tape backer. I'll take this piece, and I'm going to place it down on my scrap piece of wrapping paper. Smooth that out. And then I'm just going to trim away the excess wrapping paper from the edges. So now that I have my piece covered, it's just a matter of cutting your pocket to however you like it. So I'm cutting mine on the diagonal. You can actually cut it straight across if you want, but I am going to go on the diagonal and make me a cut. And I think I want it to be just a little deeper. And so now that I have my pocket, I am going to take some glue, and I'll place my glue on two sides of the pocket. So I'm going to take this and put it down like that. And then I'll make sure I have everything nice and stuck. And then I have a sticker that says "Shine Like the Stars." And I love that. So I'm going to take that sticker and place it right there. And then I have these two little Project Life cards. One says "You Make My Heart Sing," and the other says "A Delectable Day." And I'm just going to place them right there because they add a cute little message to the inside of this book. So then for the outside, I'm going to keep it very simple. This says "Let the Fun Begin." I am going to take my tape runner, add some tape to the back, and again I'm using a 3x4 Project Life card. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Project Life cards, just go online and do a search. There are plenty out there that you might actually like in your crafting. So I'm going to mount that, and then I'm just going to use my scissors to trim away. Should have gotten my larger scissors. And so now that I have this piece, I am going to take my tape runner, add some tape, and I'm going to place this down right there. And then I have these two little flowers that I'm just going to add as decoration. So I'm going to place some glue on the back, put one right there, and then I'll put one right there. And how sweet is that? And so there we have it, y'all. We have another beautiful wrapping paper craft. We are doing some amazing things with the wrapping paper. We are keeping our costs down because we're still working on the same roll of $1 wrapping paper. So I'm going to open this so that you can see just how cute that is on the inside. You can dress it up even more if you want to. I'm keeping mine very simple, but when we use these metal snaps, we're able to refill this book at will. So I am going to bring that first one back in so that you guys can see both of these and just how stinking cute they are. Easy peasy, inexpensive paper crafting, y'all. So I hope that you have enjoyed this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.